Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Live Ones. I am Big Matt, your capper extraordinaire. The big story today, I told you on the last show something better would come up in the world of sports to talk about than there was, and it has. I'm going to try to get through this without smiling too much because it is pretty funny. If you've been living under a rock all day and all night yesterday, Shannon Sharpe, former host of Undisputed on FS1, now seen every day on First Take on ESPN, decided he was going to have a little me time with a lady friend. Apparently tossed his phone down on the bed with the Instagram interface open, went live on Instagram, live video, for a few minutes while he rather vigorously handled his business. Didn't record any video. There was nothing you could see, thankfully. It did broadcast audio of the whole thing. Shannon's got 3 million Instagram followers. The whole world was aware of what was going on as it was happening, and the internet being what it is, Shannon got absolutely roasted. The absolute best, and I mean the best, had to be Ron Killings, the professional wrestler known as R-Truth, who's without a doubt the longest-lasting comedy act in the pro wrestling business. He did live commentary in the chat window of Shannon's feed, critiquing his performance, at least what he could hear from it. Shannon admitted that the video was legit after he claimed in the immediate aftermath that he'd been hacked. He's out there taking his medicine in terms of the embarrassment. Now, just out of curiosity, because I don't use Instagram regularly, I have an account. It's mainly for viewing stuff of other friends of mine who only use Instagram. I guess it's conceivable that you could toss a phone on a bed if you have the post interface already up, and it would trigger the go live function by mistake. I'm looking around for my phone. I had it right here with the Instagram interface open. Oh yeah, right here. So I'm looking at the window just to see how realistic is that. So you have here on the home section. This is the home interface right here. You've got to hit this little plus button up here, up at the top, to make a post. From there, you got to scroll all the way over on this bar down at the bottom. You got to scroll all the way over to get to the live button, and then it's right there. Then the button to go live is right there. If you're on that part of the UI right there, yeah, sure, maybe you could toss it down on the bed in the middle of something and have it go off by mistake. But if you're on the home section, you got to press 3 clicks to get to that. Could the blankets of the bed do that if you were, say, making the bed rock pretty vigorously? That's a really hard sell. I don't know if this was an innocent mistake. Shannon has never been married. He's got 3 daughters. He's been dogged by rumors for decades that he's on the DL, so to speak. I don't know. Simplest explanation is usually the right one, and it could just be that he's a complete ignoramus who doesn't know how anything on his phone works, as he says. That was fun. That was a palate cleanser. Palate cleanser after the rest of this week so far. In a reversal of what I thought was going to happen, Wazoo and Oregon State showed why they were right in trying to keep the Pac-12 alive as a shell organization, because 4 teams from the Mountain West have announced that they're moving over. Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, and San Diego State. There are a lot of schools with the name State at the end in the Mountain West, if you don't know. They're going to be joining the Pac-12 as soon as their contracts with the Mountain West expire in 2026. They're undoubtedly going to be followed by some of the other 7 schools in the conference as soon as their contracts are up, and that'll be the end of that. I still won't consider the new Pac-12 to be a power conference because it's not. These programs just don't have the prestige. It's a fitting end for the Mountain West, which really only came to be after the massive realignment in the mid-90s, where you had the Southwest Conference and the Big 8 and the breakup of the old WAC. All of the leftovers from those conferences literally just got together to form a conference for their own survival. They got together at Denver Airport in 1995. They looked out the window and saw the mountains in the west, and someone had a gleam of inspiration. A lot to go over tonight. We got college football, NFL, Thursday night football, and baseball. Let's get right to it, and we are going to start with Texas State hosting a huge home game against the Big 12's Arizona State Sun Devils. I say huge in that you rarely see Power 4 teams go on the road against Group of 5 opponents. This has it's got the possibility of being a barn burner atmosphere tonight. GJ Kine put the Bobcats on the map last year with one of the most explosive offenses in the country, 11th overall in terms of points per game. Yes, I know they had weak competition most of the year, but even so, it's a system that's well practiced and knows how to put points on the board, and played all the way through the end of last year, racking up 45 points in the first Responder Bowl against Rice. This is a program that's bought into its coach and its system, definitely. Arizona State suffered last year for its really, really porous defense, and we saw signs of that still being the case last week against Mississippi State, where they allowed 268 yards through the air against Blake Shapen, who was the quarterback at Baylor for 3 years and turned precisely no one's heads. The Sun Devils are 2-0, though, and they've managed that through a particularly successful run game. Cam Scatibo carried the ball 33 times for 262 yards against the Bulldogs. So you have two powerhouse offenses against two very weak defenses from last year that don't look like they've gotten any better. And what do you naturally look at? The total. It's a high one at 59.5, but you have two defenses that have already gotten beat up to start the year. They're playing on a very short week. Their bodies haven't had the time to recover. I can absolutely see them both being, too worn down to stop the other. I can see both teams getting over 30, so give me the over 59.5 points tonight. NFL, Week 2, Thursday Night Football, Bills and the Dolphins, both teams coming off of come-from-behind victories in Week 1. We got some rain in the forecast for the early going at Hard Rock Stadium. Should clear up by the second half. That doesn't affect games the way it used to, with the equipment managers constantly subbing in fresh footballs into the game, and no stadium really having any actual real grass anymore. They do that fake polypropylene stuff where you're running on memory foam and your quarterbacks all go down with non-contact injuries. So I'm not buying the conventional wisdom that says that there's likely to be a lot of running tonight because of the rain. What I do respect is that Miami's top two running backs both had a terrible Week 1. One of them is hurt and already out of the game, and the other is a game-time decision, so he's not going to be 100%. So if Miami does have to run the ball, I don't know who they're going to hand it to. And what I also respect is that the Bills, ever since Tyreek Hill was traded to the Dolphins, have done a marvelous job containing the passing game vis-a-vis him being the main focal point of it. He's got a total of 2 touchdowns and a very pedestrian average of 63 yards a game in the 5 games since these two teams have been played against each other since the trade. I just trust the Bills more than the Dolphins in any game between the two in their current iterations. I trust Josh Allen to play well in subpar weather more than Tua, and I think the wrong team's favored tonight. So give me the Bills on the money line at the extra plus 110 juice. It's a short slate of baseball tonight as a lot of teams travel for their weekend series, but one game catches my eye tonight, and that's the Brewers and the Giants, wrapping up a 4-game set. We're getting to the middle of September, where the teams who know their season is done start to have a whole lot less motivation to play than the teams still fighting for their playoff spots. The Giants are done for the year. There was just no competing in this stacked NL West with the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres. They're just checking out new prospects in the June and September call-ups and seeing who's going to be of value next year. One of those is the starter tonight in Hayden Birdsong. Birdsong's still a work in progress, to be sure. He's given up 7 runs over 6 2/3 innings across his last 2 starts, and he's gone he's gone between 3 and 4 innings in both of them. It's like they can't decide if they want him to be a starter or a long reliever. Either way, he's likely to get shredded by this tough Brewers lineup. Frankie Montas is on the mound for the Brewers. He's not stellar, but he's serviceable. And frankly, the Giants don't have a whole lot of left-handed pop at the plate. Every factor favors the Brewers tonight. I'm taking them on the money line. That's it. Third and final play. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on X at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Wednesday night, and I will see you soon.